G'day viewers, this is the news. Train Sim World 6 New Horizons to Leipzig. As always, I read these articles to you to improve the accessibility of the information to those who can't or will not go and read it for themselves, and add whatever spicy bits pop into my head. My head's being pretty weird, so you never know what the spicy bits might be. Anyway, this one comes with a video, so let it rip.
Taking an existing route and extending it is a fun challenge.
Is a completely different driving experience.
There's so much to go at, so many different things to do.
I've spent more hours driving this route than any other German route in the game. We've already made Dresden recent in the past, and it's probably one of the most popular German routes because of the diversity of services, how busy the line is and so forth. But one of the biggest requests that came from players was to double the length of the route and take it to Leipzig, which has been something we've been wanting to do for quite some time.
So this is really exciting for players. It's almost doubling length. We've got 40 odd stations, way more than the original route, and there's so much more gameplay tied in with that. So we've got an extra branch line coming off from the eastern part of the route. We've got freight services, intercity services, S-Bahn services, like we have in so many German routes. A real experience for players to get stuck into.
Again, one of the things that was most requested from players was Friedrichstadt, the line directly near Dresden station. There's a big freight yard there. S-Bahn services run over there, meaning that you'll get more complete services on the eastern side of the route, as well as having full-length runs then across the entire journey of the route.
The track between Dresden and Riesa has the excitement of the winding curves, the multiple paths, and of course we've got the new path that's going in there as well on the eastern end.
Lighting
but
on that
the
wasn't very
extension
good.
beyond Riesa and into Leipzig is a completely different driving experience. All of the twists and turns are gone. It's basically a straight express run into Leipzig, which means you can get up to speed in trains like the ICT and the Talent 2.
Just the trains themselves is a huge variety.
So you've got the BR411 ICT.
Yep, the ICT we've had before.
Express trains. The Talent 2, which is going to be
Talent
some
2,
of the more regional
plenty of times with that one.
The 146 is a passenger train.
And the
that's going to be
146
running
with
S-Bahn
its
trains,
Dostos.
supported by the Generation 4 Dostos. And then you've got the 185, and that'll be
BR185 for a bit of freight.
trains. So between those various trains, you kind of cover off the vast majority of the operations on the route, which we think was important for this.
We were very fortunate with the ICET that we were able to get a very good reference trip for that. So we've gone back, looked at the audio that we obtained for that, anything that we may have missed in some of our edits, or things that we could just make some little improvements here and there on any feedback that we got last time we did the ICT. It's all about trying to make those little small steps this time around for TSW6 to try and improve on what we did before.
It's a brutish thing.
This is the deluxe locomotive, the V90 BR294.
Such a key part of German railway infrastructure. The BR294 is such a staple of train simulation, and its omission from TSW to date has been felt, players and us alike. And then the stars aligned for this release. It adds that shunting dynamic to the traffic on this route, of which there are a number of yards throughout the route. But one of the other things that we really like about the 294 is it's a road shunter, which means that not only do you find it hovering up and down, backwards and forwards, shunting wagons in the yards, it's quite capable of going out onto the main line at mainline speeds. So if you're not a shunting fan, this loco is still potentially interesting as a freight loco. It's a really, really interesting train, and such a key part of German railway infrastructure.
It's a brutish thing. It's diesel powered, it's big, it's powerful.
Lucas, who's very well known obviously here at Dovetail, he's worked very hard and he's managed to get us access to a BR294. So we've been out to Germany and had a full day of recording with the 294, rigged up with microphones. We've been recording all of the switches, all the little details and everything that we usually record. We're very fortunate now to have our own full suite of kit. We have lots and lots of pelly cases full of equipment now, which is a nightmare when it comes to flying out to Germany with, but all worth it in the end, and the wait will hopefully be worth it.
Taking the existing route and then uplifting that to the to sort of where we are now, and then extending the route, adding new bits in that to the existing side of the route, it can be quite creatively fulfilling for the team as well, because just like going back and like particularly adding Friedrichstadt was just like a finally, yes, we were able to get that in. We wanted to do that before.
The extension to Leipzig offers the chance to drive all the trains that you already love in Riese Dresden, but at a faster pace. Gone are the sweeping curves, and it's a much faster straight-through experience where you've got some 4-track sections where you avoid stations, and you've got all the line-side industries that the 294 will be running on. It's just packed end to end, and Leipzig station is a fantastic terminus to arrive into, being one of the largest stations in the world.
This route already breathes so much variety and diversity in the traffic and the experience. Is why I keep coming back to it, because it doesn't matter what kind of train I want to drive, this route has got something for me, and there's just more of that in this expanded version of the route.
Righto then. Let me just turn off the browser so we don't get any weird noises. There we go. It's time to dive deep into the new routes included in Train Sim World 6. Each week until launch, we'll be given further details of each of the 3 routes, the trains, and Deluxe Edition loco add-ons. On top of this, we'll outline gameplay elements such as the timetable and layers, as well as give further context about the history of real-world railways. So this one is Germany, and it's week 1. The article's out now. There's a Leipzig Dresden live stream on Wednesday the 10th of September, which will effectively very early in the morning on the 11th for the Aussies, probably about 4 a.m. if it goes at the usual time. And there will be a Steam week-long deal on selected German add-ons. Only on Steam, though. What about the console people? Oh well, told you it was spicy. We start with the longest of the 3 routes, Leipzig-Dresden. Further details on the Morristown, USA and Riviera, UK lines will be published in the coming weeks. The route is Bahnstrecke Leipzig-Dresden, including Coswig Line and the Friedrichstadt Yard. Now, the Friedrichstadt Yard, we actually had that before, but you couldn't get anywhere near it, so can now. Good. Coswig Line is a bypass line that was visible in the map on the Dresden-Riese route, but is now actually usable. I don't think that will translate back into the original Dresden-Riese route. So for those who aren't aware, this is the first part of it, roughly up to where that North Star is actually on the map there, is Dresden-Riese. And then from Riese to Leipzig is entirely new. Dresden-Riese is about 35, maybe 40% of the route, if you're lucky. When you buy Bahnstrecke Leipzig-Dresden, or you get the deluxe or standard edition or the special edition, so that you get these routes, you will also get Dresden-Riese. So if you already own it, you don't get a second copy, clearly. But if you don't own it, you do get it, because it layers in the trains from Dresden-Riese, so it's necessary for this actual route. So there's 77 kilometres of new track with 20 new stations, a total of 160 kilometres. Now, it's not 160 from there to there would be my bet, because I expect that these loop lines are part of that 160 kilometres. There's a new line via Friedrichstadt, including the expansive freight yard. Like I said, it was there before, but now you can get to it. Huge variety of IC, ICE, and regional and freight traffic. So 99 miles long. 43 train stations in total. The trains are the DBBR 411 7-car ICET, that's the tilting ICE. The DBBR 442, Talent 2. The DBBR 146 and the Dostos, and the DBBR 185 and Freight. Okay. I don't think I need to read out all of the station names. We've done that before. Go beyond the boundaries of Naverka, Dresden, and accelerate westbound all the way to Leipzig in Train Sim World 6. Drive modern ICE, regional and freight traffic along with the oldest long-distance railway in Germany. We've got here a shot of Leipzig Hauptbahnhof, which is rather a large station. It's not Frankfurt large, but it is quite large. Built in 1839, the Leipzig-Dresden Railway was the first long-distance line in Germany and one of the oldest in the country. Over time, the line earned a reputation for being one of the busiest as well, and its age meant it has seen many improvements to keep up with demand. Today, it is a modern commuter network and LZB-equipped intercity line in one. And we can see here the 145, 146, dragging some Dostos in the rain. Fast services beat the regional traffic through the use of separate lines that each take a different path through the Saxony countryside, and the outskirts of Dresden are served by frequent commuter services. Though seasoned Train Sim World players may feel they know half this route already from the Dresden-Riesa add-on, the doubling of the length to Leipzig and the addition of the Dresden-Coswig line more than doubles the possible gameplay and services available across the expanded route in Train Sim World 6. The total route length is 160 kilometres an hour. Now, Dresden-Coswig actually was in Dresden-Riesa, but you couldn't get to it. It was outside the playable area, but you could see it on bits of the map. So we can see here the DBBR 294 at what looks like a chemical factory or an oil refinery or something of the like. And that is the new deluxe edition shunting and mainline locomotive. Key additions to the route include a new 65-kilometre extension from Riesa to Leipzig, including 20 new stations. New addition of the 13-kilometre Dresden-Coswig line. New Friedrichstadt marshalling yard. Like I said, it was in there before, but you couldn't get to it. New, which probably means it wasn't scenic, by the way, so it's just track. Now it's scenic. New green stripe variant of the DBBR 411 ICET. New platform and passenger announcements. New random events in service mode. New train faults. Updated DBBR 442 featuring suspension updates. Dresden-Riesa entitlement preserving layers for other TSW routes. What they're basically saying there is what I said, is you'll get the route. Okay, here is a artist's key art for the route with a talent 2. All players of Bahnstrecke, Leipzig, Dresden will receive entitlements to the previously released Dresden-Riesa route add-on, adding even more trains to their roster and preserving service layers applicable to other European routes in their collection. The old Dresden-Riesa route add-on will not be available to purchase separately for Train Sim World 6. So you'll get it if you buy Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden, or if you've already got it, but you won't be able to buy Dresden-Riesa by itself in the future. Okay, we've got a video showcasing the train, so let's get into that. And no doubt another copyright strike for music that's not licensed for the ambassadors to use. I think that might be the first time we've seen the cab of the 294, especially in action.
Sehr geehrte Fahrgäste, die Fahrzeugstörung am Scheibenwischer konnte beseitigt werden. Wir werden uns bemühen, die entstandene Verspätung wieder aufzuholen.
So that's our first hearing of German announcements, I think. While I think it's appropriate that they're in German, I would love the option to have them in English. False advertising, a sign that says WC, because there aren't any. No one has bums in Train Sim World. Alright, let's scroll that down again. There is a wide variety of trains and locomotives included in the Leipzig-Dresden route. covering a range of services. High-speed, local S-Bahn, freight and shunting gameplay is all catered for, with additional trains available courtesy of the Dresden Riese entitlement that all owners of Leipzig Dresden will receive. The new DBBR 294 V90 shunter are available in the Deluxe or Special Edition. It's a classic V90 diesel locomotive, additional shunting services on Leipzig-Dresden, free roam possibilities on other Train Sim World routes, i.e. it's not in anybody else's timetables, but you can add it wherever you want. The BR294, originally known as the V90 series, were built in the 1960s and 70s as heavy shunting locomotives. Their weight and power made them suitable for shunting long trains, but also transporting wagons between different locations. In the 1990s, a fleet overhaul saw 290 locos rebuilt and reclassified as the BR294. There we go, that's why it's got two names, the V90 and the DBBR294. I have seen these things in YouTube videos running around in other countries as well, so they get out and about. There's a cab shot. Despite their age and with multiple locos retired in favour of new attraction, many 294s can still be found working today, holding on to local train duties and preparing long-distance freight for mainline traction to take onward. Their continuing commonality has made them a familiar sight across the length of Germany's oldest long-distance railway. Bit like 66s. Even they're in Germany now. They're everywhere. 294897-4 is the one on display here, and another one in the background, in what looks like a bit of an empty yard. In Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden, the BR294 will work to assemble freight consists in the various yards along the 160-kilometre route, with some mainline running moving trains between facilities. Given their prominence across Germany, players will further use out of this locomotive by spawning it into timetable mode in other Train Sim World routes. The BR294 comes equipped with PZB and CIFA. There is also a throttle lock that players will need to be mindful of when operating, which is highlighted by the driver assist prompts. You can learn more about the operation of German railway safety systems in the training centre. Or my tutorials. Does that imply there's a PZB tutorial in the training centre in Train Sim World 6? They didn't say it. They did not. The DBBR294 Loco add-on will be available to purchase separately once Train Sim World 6 has released on the 30th September, i.e. you don't have to buy the deluxe edition to get it, you can get it separately if you want to. The DBBR411 ICET, which is the tilting ICE train. Yeah, that funny noise you can hear is my cat licking its bum. Hello, cat. How are you? You should be up here in your stand. We're not going to put you on camera. But no, you sit down there licking your bum. Fair enough. Of course, we only complain about that because we can't do it. Leave that horrible thought in your head. Returning to Train Sim World's ICE fleet is the DBBR411 ICET, complete with its impressive GNT technology. GNT is basically just the technology that lets you run at a higher speed than the route through its tilting mechanism. ICET units have been in service across Germany since 1999. Luftballoons, adding a different style of train to that of the ICE-1. The ICET's tilting function, which can reach a maximum of 8 degrees, allows them to travel at higher speeds than conventional trains. A separate system is in place to monitor this and needs to be enabled in order for the tilting to take place. There we have an ICET tilting into a corner. This system, GNT, works with other safety systems like PZB, LZB and CIFA to ensure safe operation across the Frankfurt-Fulda route. The GNT system needs to be turned on in order to get for tilting to work. This is a manual process done by the player. It's just one switch though. Due to the nature of the Leipzig-Dresden route, the GNT system is less relevant on the previously released Frankfurt-Fulda route, i.e. it's pretty straight. The DBBR411 ICET comes in a new variant with a green stripe depicting DB's Das ist Grün campaign. We are green, I guess. The DBBR411 ICET is included in Train Sim World 6's Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden route. Players do not need to own the previously released content to access this train, i.e. it's packaged in the route. The DBBR 442, or Talent 2. The new generation BR442 Talent 2 was built by Bombardier and introduced in 2009. The successor to the Talent, this was put into service by Deutsche Bahn to replace older electric multiple unit types and loco-hauled trains on both their S-Bahn and Regio services. The variant in Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden has been updated to include in-game suspension. The BR442 comes equipped with PZB and CIFA. You can learn more about the operation of German railway safety systems in the training centre. The DBBR 442 electric multiple unit is included in TrainSim World 6's Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden route. Players do not need to own previously released content to access this train. The DBBR 185 plus wagons. We have a 185 cruising through a station with its headlights on high beam, annoying the passengers. But that's okay, annoying TSW passengers is fun because they annoy us back. The modular Trax locomotives from Bombardier have become one of Europe's most widespread family of locomotives and includes the BR185.5. Bombardier's Trax, transnational railway applications with extreme flexibility, is a modular product platform of electric and diesel-electric locomotives. The BR185.5s had top speed of 140 km an hour or 87 miles an hour and operated as a general-purpose freight locomotive. More than 300 BR185.5 locomotives were built and sold to various train operators, including leasing companies throughout Europe, including Switzerland, France and Germany. The MRCE variant of the BR185 is also included with the Dresden-Riesa route entitlement. The DBBR 185 electric locomotive is included in TrainSim World 6's Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden route. Players do not need to own previously released content to access this train. They keep saying that because of the rumours. There were rumours that said you don't get these trains if you don't own the other routes. You'll just have an empty route. Those people are dumb. Let's just say that. DBBR 146.2 plus Dostos. Yay, more Dostos! Woo! Do you know, I reckon I feel about Dostos about the same way Kermit felt whenever he saw Miss Piggy coming. But anyway, further passenger services can also be operated by the BR 146.2, I apologise, as previously seen in the Frankfurt, Fulda and Main Spessart Bahn route add-ons. These more modern electric locomotives will add yet more variety to the timetable and an alternative setting in which to operate passenger trains. I assume they mean alternative. This locomotive is a modern, speedy, passenger-oriented example of motive power. In the early 2000s, Deutsche Bahn placed an order for 47 passenger locomotives. These would follow in the footsteps of the previous designs, such as the 185.2, combined with older passenger variants to provide modern counterpart known as the DBBR 146.2. And yes, she's still cleaning her date. Being passenger-focused, the 146.2 features a higher top speed than the 185.2 and is also equipped with destination board equipment as well as push-pull capability, allowing it to be driven from a control car. The BR146 comes equipped with LZB, AFB, PZB and CIFA. You can learn more about the operation of German railway safety systems in the training centre. The DBBR 146.2 electric locomotive is included in TrainSim World 6 Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden route. Players do not need to own previously released content to access this train. Additional trains. We've got a picture of a 363 there, and that's still the 185. The inclusion of the Dresden-Riesa entitlement for all players of TrainSim World 6 Standard, Deluxe and Special Edition means additional trains will also be available to operate. These are the DBBR 143 and the DBBR 363 V60 shunter. New features, train faults and random events. I think we've done those to death, probably. But let's run through it. Maybe there'll be some new information. New to TrainSim World 6 is the introduction of train faults and random events, ensuring that no two services are ever the same. These toggleable features will keep players on their toes with signal delays, just like we get now, and issues with the trains themselves, resulting in the need to react and work through solutions as guided by the in-game prompts. Train faults will occur in the form of wiper failures and lighting failures. These faults can be easily reset. Players will get a pop-up when a fault occurs. They can then make the necessary action to clear it. Some of these may require a breaker to be reset. Random events. Temporary speed restriction signs will appear beside the track to give a visual indication of where speed restrictions start and end. The HUD will also react to these restrictions, giving a clearer guide as when they need to slow down to comply with the restrictions. I wonder if they'll be in the track monitor. I think they've said they will. Signal delays will once again be something to consider when playing the random events enabled. At Dresden, both HL and KS types of signalling are in use, and looking out for any atypical aspects will keep players on their toes. This, of course, will impact those playing with LZB, AFB and PZB systems enabled, resulting in the need to react further to alerts or have the LZB system reduce train speeds as necessary. Timetable, layers and gameplay. An extensive and complex timetable has been implemented into not only to make full use of the variety of trains from within the route, but also those from the wider German content catalogue. This includes layering using multiple add-ons. Sucks if you're on Epic. You can see here another screenshot with a ICE train and what looks like a Talent 2 behind it on a bridge. The types of services available to operate in Leipzig, Dresden include ICET express traffic between Dresden and Leipzig, using the avoiding line in the east and LZB in the west. Regional services RE50, RB31, RE15, RE18, with the BR442, which also operates local services towards Grobenhain and forms AI traffic at Leipzig and Riesa. BR143 hauled Dostos operating peak S1 and all S2 services. BR146 hauled Dostos operating S1 and RE50 services. Multiple paths from Dresden to Riesa, followed by a high-speed dash to Leipzig. Freight trains using the BR185 serving industries in the large Friedrichstrack yard, including loco swaps, and trains heading out of the map towards Chechnya. BR363 shunting services available by the Dresden Register Entitlement. Does this mean we might get route hopping to the Chechnya route when it comes out? Dunno, Czechia. Czech Republic. Why did I call it Chechnya? I did that again, didn't I? Showing my geographic prowess there. It's just Czech. Deluxe Special Edition players, or those that purchase the Loco add-on separately, will also be able to operate the BR294 shunting and local freight services. There will be additional service layers with the Talent, it looks like it, the silver one. An overview of the additional service layers is the BR1442 trains from Rapid Transit add-on offering playable S4 services from Leipzig and AI traffic, BR642 trains from the Maintalbahn add-on offering playable and AI services, BR218 hauled services using the N-Wagon stock offering playable services and AI traffic at Leipzig, ICE1 trains from Kassel-Wurzburg route add-on adding AI traffic at Leipzig, the original DB BR101 add-on with Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr playing playable IC and EC services, including loco swaps at Dresden that can utilise the rail pool BR193, the BR612 AI traffic at Dresden from Turanda Ramp, and the BR103 playable rail tour from Link Bahnstrecke. And all of those will grind your PS4 into the ground until it actually catches fire. The X-Bone will simply run away screaming because it's smarter. In addition, static stock that rotates throughout the year by changing the in-game month will appear at Leipzig Hochbahnhof Platform 24 featuring trains from a wider variety of add-ons, including the E94 Rail Tour Pack from TrainSim Germany. This represents the museum platform, which in reality also rotates a series of historic rolling stock. So there'll be stuff to go and climb in and sit in and play with, but not drive. As is typical of German routes, in TrainSim World, playable locomotives substitute for both freight and passenger services are available for players with additional content in their collection. This includes the Railpool Vectron, Press BR155 and more. Save on selected layers and add-ons on the Steam week-long deal. Not for consoles or Epic, sorry. You can get 60% off Rapid Transit, 60% off Hauptstrecke Rhein-Ruhr, or 60% off the DB BR101 add-on. That's the dumb one, not the smart one. Get prepared by grabbing some of the relevant add-ons Yeah, blah, 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 until 1800 BST on the 15th September. Isn't there an irony that the time is specified in British Standard Time when it's about Germany? Yep. For this sale, the Train Sim World 5 version of the add-ons have discounts applied. Purchasing these will entitle players to the Train Sim World 6 compatible version of the add-ons at no extra charge, just like the rest of your content, unless you're on Epic, in which case, bugger. 8th generation console services. Here comes the news, the bad news. Gen 8, mate. Bugger. After reviewing performance on previous generation consoles, we've amended the timetable to provide a suitable experience for these players on the Xbone and the PS4. All playable services in timetable mode will use the BR442. Other included trains, the ICET, BR143, BR146, and B85 will be able to operate in scenarios. Well, better upgrade now. The only additional layer will be for a selection of playable BR294 services. There will be no AI-only traffic services that are not otherwise playable or freight services. Players on 8th generation consoles with Leipzig Dresden will also have access to the Dresden Riese add-on entitlement, which will have the current 8th generation timetable level of services available to it in TSW6, and may provide a better experience if you're looking for a busy timetable on that section of the route. So, that basically means that if you're running 8th gen, it's going to be boring. That's really all I can say about that. I mean, I know I love to say Gen 8, get out, mate, but, you know, that's just playing lip service to the Gen 8 consoles. Why not just say you can't have it on Gen 8? I mean, seriously. Anyway. Scenarios and mastery. So in Germany, you'll get a poster that says, visit the United Kingdom, or Deutsch see Deutschland, or visit the USA. Yep. Go visit the winners. There will be a selection of 5 scenarios on Leipzig Dresden, with an additional 3 scenarios available for those with the BR294 included in Train Sim World 6 Deluxe and Special Editions. Mastery challenges are also included, requiring you to perform certain tasks on a route, like completing certain scenarios or travelling a certain number of miles in a specific locomotive. Tier 1 challenges unlock posters that can be seen throughout each route. Tier 2 challenges unlock toggleable scenery tiles. And this is the preview stream. There's no point playing that because it hasn't happened yet. And that will be on 1800 UTC on Wednesday, the 10th of September. Like I thought, that will be very early in the morning for the Aussies on Thursday, the 11th. For our German-speaking audience, be sure to join our ambassador Train Sim Play and our developer Lucas for a second preview of Leipzig Dresden this week on Sunday the 14th evening starting at 1800 CEST. This will be hosted on Train Sim Play's YouTube channel with the primary language in German. So if you're into German, that's the one to watch. Train Sim Play is pretty good anyway, so useful. You can pre-order the deluxe edition, so this one's just an ad, so we won't play this one. If you can't wait to become part of the action, remember you can pre-order on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Epic Games Store and Steam. But you can't play it, so if you can't wait to become part of the action, you still can't play it, so you have to wait. Marketing. Okay, that is the news about Bahnstrecke Dresden Leipzig, or is it Leipzig Dresden? I forget which one it is. Scroll up. Must be Leipzig Dresden, looking at the Earl. I think it's, yes, Bahnstrecke Leipzig Dresden. Okay, that's it for this route. That's everything we know. For the PS4 and the Xbone players, it's not great, is it? For everybody else, it's kind of okay. For the Epic people, it's kind of sucks for you too. Sorry. Okay, enjoy yourselves, have fun. As usual, if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Please keep them polite and constructive. I know there is some disappointing news in here for some of our player base. So, feel free to say whatever you need to say. I don't mind. I will carry your feedback back to TTG. like and subscribe. Yeah, fair enough. Alrighty, we'll get to see this thing in real life or in digital life or whatever it is shortly with the preview stream. So until then, that's the news. Bye now. See ya.
We played a game.